Okay. What's up, everybody? This is Mikhail Casanovich. You guys know Hawaii's favorite YouTuber and the host of the number one podcast, the Casanova Podcast, where I interview voice actors from video games and animes, as well as people within the video game industry, tech companies, do reviews, and all kinds of different things. Now, there's a situation that's been going on with a particular voice actor called Vic Mignogna. Yeah, I didn't say Mignogna. I said Mignogna. It's Italian, so I want to take some time to be able to pronounce his name correctly. Um, Someone that I've reached out to, um, spoken with, and will eventually have on the Casanova podcast. There's a situation revolving him. If you're not familiar with him, he's actually the voice of Broly from Dragon Ball Super, as well as the original voice of Broly from all three movies. So that's Dragon Ball Z Broly, Broly Second Coming, as well as Dragon Ball Z Bio Broly. So that's the three original movies he was in. And Vic Mignogna, he played Broly. He's also more infamously known as Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, as well as Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I think he did a stand-up job portraying Edward Elric. Sorry, I have a bit of a lisp. But there's been a lot of controversy surrounding him, and it's been due to the situation revolving alleged, and I'm saying alleged because we don't really know the full scope of the situation, but alleged sexual assault or sexual harassment claims that have oddly surfaced with the release of the Dragon Ball Super movie, Dragon Ball Super Broly, and or you could say resurfaced, because apparently a lot of these have been going around for quite a while, for the last 10 or so years. And so there are a lot of people that are coming out both in defense and against him. You have a lot of voice actors from Monica Rial, the voice of Bulma, Christopher Sabat, Sean Schimmel. Well, who's really Sean Schimmel hasn't really said anything damning Vic, nor has Chris Sabat. Kind of. But Monica Rial, there is things she said where she said, believe women, and she's herself been a victim to some of his actions, which is a bit interesting considering that a couple weeks prior, or actually around the time the launch of Dragon Ball Super, she was, tweeting about how she had a great time, great people, she loves Vic, and then the story changes. I'm not here to judge. I don't know, people switch up all the time. They can act brand new. There's nothing new with that. There is controversy surrounding her saying, oh, she's taking different, positions that Vic used to have as a producer and whatnot, or manager. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate because I don't know. And one of the things for me, and I think it's really important for anyone, is factual evidence. Now, whether Vic did this or not, I don't know. I really don't. I do know that it's odd that this is catching the attention that it is now with the release of the movie. But, it's neither here nor there. I see a lot of people posting up the whole, believe her, believe women, believe all women, believe victims, or believe survivors. I get that. I can see that argument because there are people who are legitimately survivors and victims of sexual assault, sexual, harassment, rape, what have you. However, just because someone says something, that doesn't make that entirely the truth. I'm someone who I need evidence. I need beyond a shadow of a doubt to know something has some credibility. Now, you've had people say that Vic is guilty because of things he's done in the past with hugging people and touching people, kissing a fan or what have you, you know. But a lot of things have been broken, especially by Anime News Network, have come out to be false, where they've used pictures and tried to, formulate that to say, oh, Vic did this, Vic did that, look at how he sexually assaulted this person, and then come to find out that person comes out and say, hey, no, he didn't. I asked him with my mom there, or my parents there, to take this picture, and I stand with Vic. He's a great guy. Keep your head up. So you got situations like that. And just as a whole with the news lately, where you kind of need to read between the lines to figure out what's what, because you have to understand the way that news networks work, be it national news, anime news, and news in general. I have a background in marketing and journalism. I understand that controversy sells, and that it's about how many clicks you can get, how much attention. And when companies make faux pas, they'll go back with retraction, but it'll be like a small blurb tucked away. With this situation, I kind of find it interesting because you have people that are talking about his mannerisms, with hugging fans and kissing on them or what have you. He's an affectionate guy. I know a lot of Italians that are like that. Lo and behold, it may be hard for you to understand this. I'm also part Italian, so I understand that from my Italian side of the family, but I'm also Polynesian as well as being black and Dominican. And those are, if you look at all of those are really, really, really affectionate, passionate people who are very expressive in how they are around other people. It's like when I'm around my Italian family, they do that. They're very, touchy-feely, expressive, and I can understand that people may not be for that. And also, being Polynesian, being out here in Hawaii, or, with me being Hawaiian Samoan, I understand how that is too, because we are also very affectionate, touching people, and that may not be for everyone. I've seen people make videos like there's this YouTuber called Meepy Girl. She made a video where she was basically bashing Vic, and she said that he's a creep, this and this, he awkwardly touched her. But then when you look into that situation too, you could tell that she was trying to get her 15 minutes of fame. And if it's coming off like I'm throwing shade at her, I'm not. I'm just calling it like it is. She disparaged Vic, but you also got to look at the fact that she took her video and she heavily edited it to make him look bad. She completely cut out everything else that went along with it. And, this is kind of a trend with a lot of people in the media where they do this to push narrative. It's a thing that, if you go into marketing and journalism or videography, they tell you about the author's intent, where with the author's intent, they basically want you to, you're shaping a narrative based off of what you're providing to your audience. And a lot of people they'll go with whatever is being presented without, doing any type of due diligence or investigative work on their own to go back and look and see, hey, that may not be completely factually true. It's the nature of the society that we live in and human nature as well. And so you've got a lot of things have come out where they're saying that, it's been shown that there are groups of interest that have, made it their mission to try and disparage and defame Vic and do anything to make him look bad. And that's including Photoshop and documenting or doctoring things to damage his reputation. And, on a moral and ethical level, that's not right. No one should be doing that. And I kind of question the mental state of people that are willing to do something to that degree, because that's not something, and I don't think people understand that when you are willing to go so far as to destroy someone's reputation with a lie, that even if the truth comes out, the lie can circle the world 10 times over before the truth can get out of bed and put his pants on. And so, regardless of whether Vic did or didn't do it, I'm leaning towards he didn't, because I haven't seen enough evidence to verify and validate that he did. The fact of the matter is, we don't know. You know, from what I've seen, he doesn't come off like the type of person to do that. And, you know, I can get the Italian side. I can also understand that he's Christian. He's very much devout to his beliefs. I'm Christian too. And I know in this current society that we're in, especially in America, Christians are very much persecuted. And there's more of a leaning towards, you know, accepting everything but Christianity. There's, you know, how they people say there's like, oh, there are folks who are transphobic or Islamophobic. There are people that are Christian phobic, which is a very real thing. And so I can understand in an industry that is very, very left-leaning, which, you know, the voice acting industry is, as well as Hollywood, there's a lot of left-leaning people, very liberal-minded people. I can understand that that's not favorable for them. Sorry about the noise. Y'all know that busy intersection I live by. But I'm moving, so that's not going to be an issue anymore. But I can understand, you know, the dislike for the man. I mean, he's got a lot going against him, especially in today's America or today's West, where being white, being Christian, being straight is already enough to get you thrown under the bus and targeted for any number of things, especially the white hatred, which I don't understand that. Not in today's society, but it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I think that we need to look at situations factually. I think we need to stop reacting versus, or not versus, but we need to stop reacting so emotionally and be able to critically assess situations. Look at it where we get more information, we get more facts. And I think, you know, Funimation did their investigation today, and with their investigation, they basically fired Vic, and they said that they're not going to have anything else to do with him. And I think that's a very unfortunate thing, because you know, this man's career, if he does turn out to be innocent in all this, and this is either fabricated or a big misunderstanding, even with his name being cleared, he would never be able to go back and work with the companies again, because once you taint someone's image, that can never be taken back, that can never be fixed. Because regardless, I mean, there's been so many cases where men have been falsely accused of sexual harassment, rape, and the women get off scot-free, and the men are they're even with being innocent, they're still guilty. There is a societal imbalance of how men and women are viewed and treated, and I'm not talking about the so-called pay gap or anything. I feel like, whereas, you know, there's a constant thing where people say there's a male privilege, I truly believe there's a female privilege, that, you know, they're not held to many of the same standards that men are. And that's an unfortunate thing, you know. And if you try to say that, then you'll be shouted down or said that, you know, you're mansplaining, and it goes into a whole different argument. But whether, you know, as far as is Vic guilty or is he innocent? Personally, I think he's innocent. I don't know, but I'm not judging him. I think it's unfortunate to have this occur the way it has, where we're having trial by social media versus, you know, giving the man the due process and letting this go through the proper legal channels. I do question why people don't or have not pressed legal charges against him if this is so-called true. I do understand that some victims may not be able to come forward because it is too traumatic. I can understand that. But if to the degree that people are coming out talking about this many issues, especially people in the industry, And I have a lot of friends that are in the industry, so that are also very left leaning. But I can see this from all angles. But the reality is, I personally can't just go along with the narrative of believe women, believe survivors, because as someone who only operates off of information and factual things that I can see, I need evidence. And seeing how a lot of people are acting on social media, including the voice actors, how they're lashing out at fans. And there are some fans that I'm going to call it like I see it. So there are some fans that are acting like some damn idiots. You know, you're hurting Vic more than you're helping him, or the situation rather. And I just think that we should let whatever's going to happen the proper way, through the proper channels. If there's an investigation, let it occur the way it needs to occur, and the truth will come out. You know, Vic has lawyered up, and he stood his ground, which I give him credit for. He stood his ground, you know. We'll see. But I wanted to make this video because a lot of people have been asking for my opinion on it. Many have brought accusations against me that because I am friends with a lot of people in the industry, that I was too afraid to touch this topic because I didn't want to hurt, future opportunities. And that's not true. I'm just not someone who feels that I need to hop on the topic as soon as it's there. I truly believe that we have to take some time and figure things out. We need to assess. We need more information. I don't think that jumping at everything with emotion first is smart. Because if we can't stop and assess and use logic and reasoning, and we just act off of emotion and instinct, then what separates us from animals? And no offense is meant to animals with that. Anyways, as it stands, myself and as representing the Casanova podcast, we're still going to go forward, per usual, per the script. And as far as Vic, we will eventually be having Vic on the show. If he feels inclined, he can talk about his side of it. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. I understand. And this is not going to impact, I hope it doesn't impact me being able to have other guests on, because, I feel like I should be able to cover things I'd like to cover. But, all that being said, where do I stand with this situation? Until I'm given more information, I stand with Vic. Should it come out that he's guilty, I'll retract my statement. Because I'll have something that proves it, hopefully, if he is guilty. But if he's not, I can't condemn a man without facts. I can't do mob mentality. I can't be part of outrage culture. So that's my stance. But you guys tell me what you think down below. I'll try to get back to all the comments, should everyone have anything they want to say down below. My apologies for all the noise. This is the last week you're going to be dealing with that. Like I said, we're moving. So until then, I catch you on the next one. As always, deuces wild, too sweet, be the elite. I catch you on the next one. And that, folks, that is a wrap.